straight talk from our perspective. This is Mancave Live with your host, Lexington STEELE, and co-host, Andre LAVELLE, and Johnny Depp on LA Talk Radio. Let's get it in.
Good evening, people. It is the Man Cave Show here on LATalkRadio.com. It is, of course, February 26, 2015. You can reach us live at 818-570-5085. As I am sitting here with my main man, Andre LAVELLE.
What's up, people?
Chilling. It's a lot going on.
Yeah,
you know,
lots going on.
Now, we do want to make mention that our co-host, Johnny Depp, is away on vacation in the Bahamas, no doubt.
He's got that cruise happening, man.
That's what he's on a cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I hope Johnny can swim. No.
Well, I heard he's hitting off the islands.
Yeah.
Introducing him to the Formula R3.
Well, hopefully he's raising, rocking,
and restoring.
Yes. As always, Johnny Depp appears courtesy of Formula R3 at, FormulaR3.com.
Yes.
So we'll make sure we mention that for those of you that want to impress your partner when it's time to get busy, so they say. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of
stuff, that sweet, funky stuff.
Yo, ho, ha! You know what I'm saying? Little Rick.
Rick James, baby.
James. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Fuck your couch.
For those that get your feet off the couch. For those of you who are Dave Chappelle fans, you know we can go all night on that stuff, especially Rick and then Prince.
Oh yeah,
Prince can play ball.
Prince does ball though. I heard he don't let the height.
Yeah, I know.
Little Spud Webb.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm sure he's not out there playing in those heels.
Whoop.
But yo, real quick, in the sports world, there's been a lot of guys that have been released. And we'll just want to briefly mention A.J. Hawk of the Green Bay Packers, longtime linebacker. Reggie Bush of the Detroit Lions has been waived as well.
Kick to the
curb. Half of the New York Giants offensive line, Ura, I believe, has been waived as well. So it's incredible how many people big names that will be available in the free agent market. And there's also talk that Dez Bryant, wide receiver, the Dallas Cowboys, may have been involved in an altercation in a Walmart parking lot as far back as 2011. So the conspiracy theories abound, state that the Dallas Cowboys may be looking to bring this up, making this a bigger issue as possible, such that they can have leverage when it comes time to negotiate Dez's contract, negotiating it to a discount if they will be successful in that.
They need to do what they need to do to get that team together.
They need to spend the money, but of course, luxury cap. They'll probably have to pay the luxury tax anyway, but who knows?
What's going on with their manager? Wasn't he messing around? He had some compromising photos or something?
The owner, Jerry Jones, I mean, you know, who knows if they were set up or not, but supposedly he was there was photos taken of him in a compromising position or
with
two.
A young hot thing.
With a hot thing. See what I'm saying? And Jerry's married.
Really?
Yeah. He's not a single dude.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, so who knows how those young co-eds made it into the private bathroom of one of Jerry Jones's estates down there in the big state of Texas. Dallas Cowboy owner. Hey, he gets it in. You know what I'm saying? But
literally.
Look, you know what I'm saying? Look, if you're an older guy, you're a billionaire, you know, there's got to be some source of fruits to your labor.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't, take it like they say the Cos did.
Oh, yeah, well,
I don't think Cos took it, though, man. He didn't take it.
Let's hope not. Yeah. I mean, you know, there was a lot of talk, and as we move into there's how many, we were just the other day,
somebody else pops up out of the blue.
And she was talking extensively about boxers.
Something that happened 30 years ago.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Now,
what was happening 30 years ago?
Hey.
There you go. See, that was the thing. 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody was partying, doing a little something.
And we spoke about this the other night. As a matter of fact, Andre and I, we host Fourth and Goal Sports Talk together. We were on our way to the studio, and one of the things that came up in our discussion was that particular era, if you will, and of course I was a child, at 1969.
I wasn't even born then. I wasn't even born.
Well,
you're old.
You're a little bit older than myself.
With all this gray sticking out my face, I'm calling somebody old.
But it's just the notion that at that time, if you're looking at drug use, Quaaludes, this was pre-cocaine. When you think about it, obviously people were still smoking weed, but no one was speaking about the smoking of weed. They're smoking about receiving pills.
Yeah.
So here's a question, and I'm just throwing it out there. Who's to say that these were not recreational drugs that people were doing at that time? People, certainly not people in the entertainment industry, are not strangers to recreational drug use. And if you're partying is the name that is used for these type of recreational activities,
And it was a different time, man. The casting couch was alive and kicking for both guys and girls.
Yeah.
Salminio. So.
Yeah, and it still evidently
James
is. But, but the thing about it is this, and this is not to denigrate the women who have come forward for any in any particular way. I mean, we have our mothers, we have sisters. It's just a notion that a lot of these women did go once or twice to Bill Cosby's home, independent of accompaniment, or wherever they were. And it is the notion that, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on she. Now, look, people, you can call 818-570-5085 if you have would like to enter into this discussion, because it's wide open. The table, as you see, is open to debate and discussion.
She popped a couple puddings.
I was reading an article, as a matter of fact, earlier today, that was an interview with Richard Pryor's wife, who she had been married from 1981 to 82, and then once again from 1996 until his death. So she was the longest tenured of Richard Pryor, who had been married 7 times, including her twice. Anyway, she spoke about back in the day
that there was some kind of rivalry.
There was a competitive nature between Cosby and Pryor.
Well, Pryor, from my understanding, admired Bill Cosby. When he first started, he wanted to be Bill Cosby. He told the stories and everything. He was clean. So
Richard Pryor was, Bill Cosby was clean.
No,
Richard
Pryor was
started
clean.
Okay.
He started out clean. He admired Bill Cosby.
Dick Gregory, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I think this is just, she wants to get this movie made. So controversy breeds success, get people interested. So they've been trying to make this Richard Pryor movie for a long time. So I think she has something to gain from it, of course, if the movie gets made. So the more controversy, get people talking, get people interested. What is it? And Bill Cosby's, he's a target right now.
Right.
It's smart. It's Hollywood stuff.
Well, a friend of mine, as a matter of fact, is a very good actor, by the way, Michael Epps, who has been tagged to play the role of Richard Pryor. And certainly enough, in that biopic of Richard Pryor will be hotly anticipated. And I think that Michael will be up to the task, given what he's been putting down the last couple of years, most popularly his role as of late in the Hangover movies. But anyway, Pryor says that when her and Richard were invited to Camille Cosby and Bill's home on 2 occasions, on both occasions they were made to feel like they were inferior to the perfect couple that had been Bill and Camille at that time, the pristine image. Pryor says that her husband, the position he had been placed in was that he was dirty on the outside as a comedian, but on the inside he was pure. Whereas conversely, Cosby was pure and clean on the outside, but a monster and evil on the inside. And she says that there was grumblings of these activities, Cosby's reputation preceding itself or himself for doing these very things back in those days. Had it not been reported, it would go for 30 years, like it has.
Right.
So I don't know, and also it may be premature for her to be coming out of the box to promote the movie because it certainly enough it will be in no way completed production by 2017. I don't think one wouldn't anticipate it as early as even 2016.
Well, even talking about it, Mike, he's been cast,
right?
Or is it just rumblings? Because I don't even think they definitely said they're going to make the movie.
No. Well, I've heard that they have cast him. He has been placed or pinned as a guy, and now I don't know if they've begun picking out who else will be in it because they have not released any news on the story. But the main thing is that Mike Epps had competed with Nick Cannon as well.
Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans won it as well. And so I think the comedic maturity of Mike Epps, and he's a better. I think he's, it's arguable. You may not like his stand-up, but he's a good actor. Not that Marlon or Nick aren't. Nick Cannon is one of the most powerful executives in Hollywood at his youthful age, but that doesn't mean he warrants playing Richard Pryor.
Right. It's going to take some real chops, and a few things that I've seen Mike do that was dramatic and not comedic. He has more of an edge to him, so I can see him do it.
Well, now he did very well on Sparkle.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Great role of Epps in Sparkle. And Hangover, he was not comedic in Hangovers as well.
Yeah.
And one of the things that has been said about Epps is that he has a requisite pain in his life, and that's what you just alluded to.
Yeah.
That he has the chops come from experience and pain, and he is older than Wayans as well as Cannon by a number of years. I think that that will be, something along the lines of what we saw with Jamie Foxx when he took over the role of playing Ray Charles.
It all boils down to direction, whoever they get to direct it, because a good director can bring out in an actor certain qualities, So it depends on the director, their vision. I can see if it's dark and grainy, and it's not like
well, his story is not altogether a feel-good story. So,
well, The Help wasn't a feel-good story, but I mean that's what I mean by direction and cinematography, to give it a darker look versus the bright, shiny.
I don't know. I mean, what movies, what directors can we look at and say whoever directed that is who we would want for this? I mean, I don't know. Would an Oliver Stone handle this well? I don't know. Does it have to be a black director? Does it have to be an ethnic director who can deal with the complexities of the use of the word nigga versus nigger, and Richard Pryor's use of both words as not only as a colloquialism but also as an offensive term,
and understanding the depth and the impact that Richard had on comedy and society. I mean, his relationships, interracial relationships,
right,
his drug dependency, his social consciousness later in his life. I mean, it's deep, man.
And if you look at the fact that so many actors, not only comedians but actors as well, will point him as someone that they've
major influence.
Certainly enough, emulated. But it'll be a very good movie to have that they can make, because he has been historic. If not only for his comedy, but if you look at what he's done for the acting genre of the buddy system comedies.
He was the
Stir
first
Crazy
to have a multi-million-dollar production deal. I mean,
which he was helmed jointly by James Brown.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Jim James.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I'm sorry. Making you correctly, Jim Brown. Right. Certainly, we don't mistake it for James Brown, the father of soul, the hardest working man in show business. Which is crazy because they, these names that come, James Brown, Ray Charles, they're all contemporaries.
And see, that's a perfect example. The difference in the look of the James Brown movie versus the Ray Charles
movie. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's what I meant by bright and shiny versus gritty and dramatic.
Well, now would you say that the Ray Victory, Freudian slip, Ray Charles? Hey, people, I need to remind you that I am a member of the adult industry. Ray Charles, was that a dark biopic, would you say? Or shot in a way that...
The way it was shot, yeah, it was serious.
Right, okay.
So I think the look of a film kind of guides you, you know. For example, look at a lot of the superhero films.
Right.
You know, the first Spider-Man was bright, kind of cartoonish. But the later ones, the Amazing Spider-Man, because they wanted a more mature audience, it was a darker, grainier, like Batman.
Well, you know? And how Batman has progressed to the Dark Knight.
Yes.
Okay, and
so the look of the film changed as well.
Right.
And that gives you a certain feel for the film,
right.
the way it looks, the way you perceive it,
and the imprint.
Yes, exactly. So, because it's darker subject matter, you kind of want to go with the look of the film being as dramatic as possible.
I hope so, because it's not a comedy. It's not a comedic story. Probably led a very blessed life, but also one that was challenged with many demons, and he fought some and didn't fight some so well.
Having somebody who can understand how to marry the two, you know, putting the right filter, the gels, the blues, the hues, you know, I think George Tillman could do it.
Bill Duke. You know, I mean, the thing is if you, or as drug use became such a pervasive part of Pryor's life,
it would definitely go
darker. You have to get darker with it, because certainly enough, the use of that amount of recreational drugs is way beyond fun. It's no longer good times. At that point,
Ali
it's a problem.
Movie is another example. Yeah, the look of that film.
Right. Now that played very well because it showed the challenges, and in those challenges, it showed the dark period that Muhammad Ali, formerly Cassius Clay, your mama call you Clay, I'm gonna call you Clay.
And there are quite a few films that could be made that I would hope would be made. Marvin Gaye's story, that has some hills and valleys.
I had
darkness.
grits last night for dinner, as a matter of fact.
That's Al Green.
Well, people, I stand corrected.
So Sam Cooke,
right?
Another amazing story.
No, not to cut you off. Sorry, Miles Davis. Now that biopic would be incredible.
I heard they were making that though.
I have heard that, and I forgot who they
Don
had
Cheadle.
been. I saw pictures. I sent you
me
pictures. Right. Whew. Now that one.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about a role of a lifetime for Don Cheadle. House of Lies is doing very, very well. I enjoy that on a regular basis. He, as War Machine in the Iron Man franchise. He's now will be plugged in not only within Iron Man, but he also feature in the next Avengers.
I know what's his name is kicking himself in the ass.
Terrence Howard has got to be kicking himself. But not for nothing, but I love Terrence Howard in The Empire, which continues to break records for television audience. But Don Cheadle is a great actor, and I enjoy him as War Machine. I think he meshes with Robert Downey Jr. a lot better than Terrence Howard. I enjoy seeing him and their friendship.
I don't think Terrence Howard showed a lot of depth in that character at the time. He's kind of just walked through it.
It was more like he was just officer, the officer that he is in the Air Force, and not necessarily the friend of Tony Stark's.
Right.
And Don Cheadle, you see the friendship between himself and Tony Stark. So,
did you hear that Terrence Howard wasn't the first choice for the part on
Empire?
Empire, yeah.
Wow, who had been offered?
They wanted Wesley. Can you imagine Wesley Snipes in that part?
Yes. Oh man. Wait, now what happened? Because now that having mentioned that not if they think their numbers are good, can you imagine if Wesley? Come on.
But he's coming to television. He's cast on another show that's in production right now, or pre-production. I forgot what it was, but Wesley will be back and making things happen. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
They should make another Blade.
Yeah, they should.
Whew. Yeah. I mean, please. I mean, disregarding the last one, whoever directed the first and second one should be the one and bring Blade back. Say that 3 times fast.
Steve Norrington did the first one. I actually met Steve Norrington. He started as a storyboard artist. Real cool guy. He didn't do the second or third one. I don't know who did those, but Steve Norrington did the first one. Yeah.
Now, is the screenplay based on a comedic character? Or does Blade exist with Marvel?
It's
or
from
DC?
Marvel.
It's
yes.
Marvel.
But the Blade that they've done is completely different from the comic book character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But same basis, a daywalking
Yeah.
vampire. Okay. Well, so why didn't Wesley? What happened? Do you need word as to what happened?
I didn't read the article. I just saw it. You know, it was online, and I looked over it and saw that Terrence wasn't the original choice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look. Hey, bottom line, I think here is that Terrence Howard made a great decision in taking the role because he's doing very, very well. And what about Taraji Henson? You got to give it to that young lady. Jeez.
But you know why? I think they were looking at Wesley based on what was the movie that they made?
New Jack City?
New Jack City.
That was one of the greatest movies.
So based on that character,
cult following.
he would have knocked that out of the park.
Everybody, you know.
Because he was cutthroat, but he was business.
Yeah.
You know, and that's entertainment. It's cutthroat in business.
That was like, you know, that was a black Scarface.
Yeah. For the most part.
You know, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Bow! Just
Killed off the reign of the High Yellow Brother.
What? Who, Wesley?
New Jack City.
No. What? Nah.
When he killed Christopher Williams, that was it. That was
that was the last the last of the reigning light-skinned brothers. Is that true? What about, I mean,
yeah.
Sinbad?
No.
I mean, not for nothing, but, you know, I would say it was a wrap when Michael Jordan finally shaved off his balding hair.
Yeah, and that reined in the bald look. Yeah.
Yep, that brought in, and then, of course, Tyson Bedford paved it, you know, for the rest of all the brothers, you know. What
was with that, though? I mean, there wasn't that many bald guys in the 70s. You know, Telly Savalas,
Yul Brynner.
Yeah. What's my man name from Roots? Played Chicken George?
Mo, the comedian.
No, the actor.
Oh, John Amos. Before Good Times.
Yeah, John Amos, but before him, because he was.
Oh, Ben Vereen?
Not Ben Vereen. Chicken George.
Ben Vereen was Chicken George.
Oh, Fiddler, yeah.
Okay.
Fiddler.
You're going to wait. Yeah,
it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But
you know, hey, I'm surprised I was able to rattle off those, you know, Telly Savalas.
But there were very few bald guys. Then all of a sudden, I think it was Jerry Curl just destroyed our hairs, man. The box kids, S-curls.
S-curl is a man's look.
Everybody's bald now.
Shoot, man, let me tell you something. I had a fantastic high top fade in my youth.
I rocked the Bobby Brown. I had the
slope. You have a Gumby? Ever have a Gumby?
That's it. I had the Gumby. Yeah. It was cool. With all the parts on the side.
No doubt.
I had an A carved in. My hair was nice.
I had a high top fade. I had the 2 parts on the side, one longer, one shorter. And then what was dope is when I was in college, I would wear, you know, the high top fade with the S curl, and when I felt like it, I would lay it down.
Look out now.
With the wave cap. With the wave cap. See what I'm saying? The next day I would take the wave cap, go to class. My shoe would look nice.
Did you wear
like a conch?
See, we dressed then, man. Early hip hop, it was about style. I had the Kwame with the polka dots with the suit jacket.
Yeah.
Because all of the groups dressed nice.
Yeah.
New Edition, Troop. We used to save our money, go to get that haircut on Friday, be in there.
Yeah.
Guys now, they just pants hanging off their ass. They don't have no style, man.
And you know, it's interesting. You know, back then style was very obvious. Like there was,
and it was diverse.
Diversity, whether it was MC Hammer or whether it was Kid and
Play. A lot of color,
a lot of vibrancy.
Yeah,
you know, cross colors. What was the other? Fubu. a number of brands. But what we're seeing now is we're seeing a lack of style, which is the style. Ironically enough, the clothes are incredibly priced. See, back then, what we're speaking of was a time when style reigned supreme, but the pricing was affordable for everyone. Now, people wearing $200, $250 True Religion jeans, literally hanging off their ass, and that is considered stylish.
$250 for a pair of jeans, but you can't afford a belt. Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. Or not for nothing. I love Kanye West, but I'm sure that his Nikes, pardon me, his Adidas shoe is probably well outpriced to the targeted demographic or the intended demographic, which would surprise you.
Well, I saw a video and I posted it on the Mancave live page, which explains the business behind it. See, Kanye, I was writing him off, but I did a little research, and actually he has business sense. And in order to compete with the known names who are already established that have their factories and manufacturing systems in line, he doesn't control the price point. So aligning himself with whoever he was with before.
It was Prada. Was it Prada that he initially sought?
And they created the price point. So in going to Adidas, because it was already established at a certain price, they're just riding the wave. But
so his clothes are priced exceptionally high, exceedingly high, or of a brand that prices out of the market for a number of people.
It's yeah.
So say,
but that's not on him.
That's not his right. So if he comes by way of Prada, then his clothes, and kudos to Kanye, would go at a Prada price. So you're saying that Adidas would have to make a $500 shoe if the brand.
Well, the shoe is no different than what he had before, but because it's already established at a certain price point, if they drop the price.
Oh, this is his second shoe with Adidas. Oh, okay. Now, were the first ones overly priced, or not overly priced? It's that's subjective.
But it's no different than Jordan. They make them for little or nothing in some slave labor country, and then they sell them at a high price point.
Right.
So,
well, not to cut you off, but I will have to qualify something. Now, I cannot speak from a point of familiarity where it concerns Kanye's shoe by Adidas, but where it concerns the Jordan brand sneaker, the actual Michael Jordan shoe, whether it's number 29, I think it might be Jordan 30, 32. I may stand corrected. The Jordan shoe utilizes the highest technology that Nike has for basketball shoe technology. So there is qualification and quantification as to why Jordan shoes are so heavily priced. Perfect example.
But if you're still making them overseas, and it costs you $50 at most to make them, why are you charging?
Well, because it still is the highest form of basketball shoe. That's what I'm saying. And if only for that reason alone, maybe that is why we have so many NBA players that wear.
Or maybe they should have two different shoes then, because the average kid is not playing in the NBA.
Right. Now, here's the thing about it. What people don't know, this is news to people that want to enjoy, at least if you're looking for the technology of a great basketball shoe, the Nike Flight series utilizes the same exact technology as the Jordan label, Jordan brand basketball shoe.
You just don't have Jumpman on it.
It does not have the Jumpman on there. And that's literally the truth. If you buy Flight, you're getting the same technology as the Jordan shoe, and maybe as great as $75 to $100 less.
Everything is branding. Once you establish the brand, Americans are brand whores, label whores.
Well, let me ask this. I mean, have you seen the Kanye Adidas shoe?
The gray, ugly ones.
Right.
They look like male Uggs. Yeah.
They're not that attractive.
Yeah. Well, Uggs aren't attractive, but women say they're comfortable.
They're super comfortable, and Tom Brady is one of the spokespeople.
And that's what he said. He's trying to make like a male Ugg.
So that shoe is supposed to be just for superior comfort, not for
activity? You can ball in them.
You literally can play in those.
Yeah.
Okay, now on the cover of Sports Illustrated, which they had the Legion of Boom the Seattle Seahawk defensive backfield. They have five of the athletes from the defensive backfield. One of them had on a pair of red Kanye's, very, very nice, vibrant red. And I realized those were the new Kanye's, but they were in red. They weren't in gray. So he has put those out with some people that'll be able to be showing them where you'll see people actually wearing them. But I would hasten to say that I doubt that we'll be seeing those on the hardwood anywhere soon.
I used to wear Chuck Taylors, so I don't care about none of it.
No, I've been a basketball player my whole life.
Chuck Taylor's no arch support at all.
Right, not at all. Not at all. No ankle support either.
Had to tie them suckers tight.
You can literally bust out the side of those
canvas buddies.
I used to wear not for nothing, but my parents put me in Keds. Remember Pro Keds?
Yeah, man, Pro Keds.
Low top. I had a pair of burgundy ones that were like my favorite. Navy blue ones with a little red and blue rubber on the side.
Well, see, that's when parents were logical. It's like, you ain't in the NBA. What are you making expensive shoes? Look, you can get three pair of these buddies over here for one pair of those.
Remember this? I might date myself with this, but remember Bobos? They cost $1.99. Bobos. They make your feet feel fine.
You got me with the Bobos.
Yes. Did you ever have to wear Bobos?
No, I didn't.
I had to wear Bobos.
I'm from Chicago. I didn't really wear tennis shoes. I used to.
We didn't call them tennis shoes. We call them sneakers.
Yeah, I didn't wear sneakers. Penny loafers, and I don't know what kind of shoes. When we
had it to Tim's.
One pair of tennis shoes was the Chuck Taylors. That was come home from school, take your shoes off, put your tennis shoes on, go outside, and that was it. And they were low tops. They weren't even high tops.
Well, we wore shell top Adidas, Air Force Ones, which are still popular. Shell toes are still popular too.
My first pair of leather shoes were ponies.
Oh yeah.
Do they still make ponies?
Not really. I don't know if they are extinct completely.
Yeah, that one pair of ponies lasted me through 3 years of high school. I just paint the color of the stripe on the side.
Yeah. Well,
it started out blue and ended up black.
They never.
Red, white.
I think Reebok kind of took their market share. Sports fans will remember a University of Virginia graduate, Houston Rocket, Ralph Sampson, who went 7'4", was their biggest sponsor athlete. And he had a relatively short-lived career based on knee problems. So after Ralph Sampson left the league, Pony did not have another major ball player that they could hang their hat on, so to speak. And then obviously with Converse, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and then obviously what happened with Nike and one Michael Jordan. Need we say more? But ponies, I remember ponies.
Okay, we didn't really get ostracized like people do today if you don't have the new. Maybe I just didn't care because I don't remember because you don't have on an Izod, you don't have on a polo. Like, no, I got on Zaire. This is Zaire shirt.
If you look at the importance of Gerbeau as a denim jean and their particular fit and cut, how popularized that was with the loose fit that I wore in my youth and certainly through my college years.
I wore loose fit, but that was because they were hand-me-downs and didn't fit.
Yeah. Well, and what people don't know, that is the origin of the baggy fit jean as we wore back in that era, because it wasn't that we were trying to necessarily they were the origin was the hand-me-down. You were wearing your older sibling's pants, his jeans, and they hung lower because he was bigger than you.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You put a belt on.
They still just got gathered up.
But you're right, they didn't hang below your ass.
No.
Now let's compare the origins of today's style of wearing your jeans. And young brothers, please, do me a favor, do yourselves a favor. In terms of as African American men, as we look to validate certainly what we've done historically, I will say that not for nothing, but we're losing steps every time when we see ourselves represented by you guys wearing your jeans past your ass with your belt tied somewhere around, in the front as low as your nether region. It makes no sense. It's not a good look, and I remind you of the origin of that style. Andre, can you elaborate?
In prison, men were not allowed to pull their pants up if they were not real men.
Now when you say that,
guys who were tested and failed the test,
right,
to prove that you were accessible to the booty prodding,
right. So there was a readiness. You were showing a readiness for penetration.
Yeah, you had to show your ass,
and they did that by wearing
the sagging of pants
below your ass.
Yeah.
And then when those guys, re-entered society, they still wore their pants like that. Now, does that mean that they carried that sexuality outside of the pen? Because maybe they conduct themselves like that inside the pen out of necessity. But that's a whole nother topic. But it's just a notion that style gaining traction.
That doesn't show that you're hard. You're not hard. You're actually showing you the soft one.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's embarrassing. No one wants to see your underwear, and it's not out of hey.
Yeah.
I mean,
But with knowledge comes power, and we all have to grow up at some point in time. So hopefully this will reach the ears of one or two, and you spread that information onto your homeboys, and they'll pull their pants up.
Well, the only problem is on some of the platforms to get the most attention. If we looked at what happened in Ferguson, when they were said to not that they weren't going to go forward on the officer, and the mother of the deceased was on the stage, and her ex-husband who was saying "burn it down, burn it down." I noticed that his pants were decidedly below his ass with his boxers hanging out, and it's not a good look. So that, as representative of African American society, may not necessarily be our best look. Now, certainly enough, many of you will look at me saying this and say, Lex Steele, how can you say that given what you do in your profession? And I understand that, Quarry, and I will combat that by saying this. As a man, not as an adult video performer, I'm speaking as a man. And I've been a man longer than I've been an adult video performer. That is the perspective I offer on this platform.
Good one.
No doubt.
All right. So pull your pants up. I mean, the most powerful man in the country is representative of us.
Right.
And we're doing him a disservice because the world is looking at us now.
Right.
We know what we have to do. It's just getting the word out to those who are a little, unknowledgeable at this point. So it's up to us. Each one teach one, educate, and push it forward.
Well, I was thinking while you're speaking, Andre. It is possible that perhaps my perspective may have been delivered too heavily, from the standpoint that there are other styles that are equally unattractive and make no particular sense. That would be the skinny jean. The skinny jean fad, or the fanaticism that is with the skinny jean phenomenon. I don't get that either. Now, literally, if you can hardly get you see how tight it is around these guys' calves. It maybe can't get any higher than above their posterior because they're so tight. And this could be a case where maybe, I'm beyond the age of consideration for discussion of these type of fads in fashion.
Is it also the lack of men being in the leadership position of the household, not having that role model to teach you how to? Because I don't want to say it's effeminate, but women wear capri pants.
Right.
What is a skinny jean but a version of
that goes all, but it does go all the way down to the ankle.
Yeah.
But right, and we've seen women wear these tight fitting pants for years.
Yeah,
right.
Leggings.
And now we're seeing young, but you know what? If you look into, I have a subscription to Details magazine and GQ magazine, certainly enough amongst others. But if you look in those magazines, they are inundating the readership with that style, with capri pants, where the pants don't even reach the ankle. If we've looked the last couple of years during the NBA Finals, which happened routinely in the summer months of June, you see some of the NBA's biggest stars wearing fashions that are unsettling, minimally. And perhaps I wouldn't wear them myself, but they're wearing these things and people are following them.
Well, a lot of those styles, as far as the suit cut, that's reminiscent of look of the 60s.
Right, okay.
Where things were a little tighter, a little more tailored. If you look at, Sammy Davis back in the day, those guys.
Slim cut, the trim cut fit was
right. Exactly. So it was still proportionate to the body. It wasn't excessively tight,
right,
where they couldn't pull their pants up, or it fit, but it was a tailored fit.
Well, along those lines, the other day we were speaking about Kobe Bryant on the cover of GQ, where it seems like his sleeves, while they are rolled up a little, pulled back up his arm,
they were short.
They look like they would be short.
Yeah.
And even inside the magazine, there was another picture of him where he has a capri-like pair of pants on as well.
So is it designers pushing the envelope? Because women, they wear all different kinds of
Are we alluding to the fact that fashion is pushing towards a comparative androgyny, if you will, as compared to other years where there was a more masculine look? Are we looking at a blurring of the lines? Many people noted the number of times that Obama, in his public address not more than a few weeks ago, used the word transgender. And, of course, that might be pointing to an ultimate agenda, which would point to asexuality. Very, makes you say, I don't know. We just put it on the table here in the Man Cave. We just put it on the table and we discussed it. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to. U.S. won't file charges against George Zimmerman in the Trayvon Martin case.
Wow.
Isn't that's it's not even funny.
And he's been in and out of court for multiple charges since then.
Yes.
And he's still not in jail.
He's a serial fuck up.
Yeah.
And the thing about this guy is it's crazy if you look at the mentality that circulated around Zimmerman. Guy started a fight, was getting his ass beat.
Then he killed somebody.
And then he killed somebody because he was strapped. Was told to not pursue this person whom he thought was in the wrong neighborhood or something. A young man was going to his father's house, ironically enough, with a hoodie on. And this guy...
So he profiled him.
He profiled him. And now, luckily enough, we're finding out, hopefully without anybody else being killed, that this guy is a serial asswipe. And who knows? At some point, he's going to step in enough trouble, and he will not be able to get away. And I will say that there will be justice served, whether it's served behind the bars of a penitentiary or so. We anxiously await that and anticipate that because I think he's in a direction that will land him there, if not his belonging has shown us already. When George Zimmerman, rest in peace, Trayvon. We have not forgotten you. Before we get out of here, we had the guy that killed the American Sniper hero, or that's a debatable term, but who killed the American Sniper. He was found guilty.
Yeah. So Sniper dude gets killed by another twisted cat who's in the military, and he's going to jail, but the guy who kills a kid, he doesn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Because the kid wasn't a hero.
And I will say, too, we have to bear in mind as well, I think with there was a failure of the health system for veterans that led to the shooter not being still under institutional
I find
authorities.
That's called irony.
Right.
You snipe people, 3 tours, come home, and then you get shot by your own dude.
Was he Semper Fi? Was he a Marine as well?
Yeah, he was helping.
Well, now Sniper. Forgive me for what was the sniper's name again? American Sniper. I don't know. Bradley Cooper. No, was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
And he was shot by a Marine.
Well, it just goes, even within the movie, it shows more the mental health issues that surround, the whole. But the film, it was propaganda, but no one should be killed, basically.
Right.
Respect life. But he was doing his job. That was what he was paid to do. He
Right.
did it well. A lot of guys made it home because of him, so good for that. But, they need to take care of these cats upstairs when
Right.
they come home, because he even had issues.
Right.
So, yeah, let's hope that the veterans get what they deserve.
They certainly deserve a wealth of attention when they do return, and it's not only when they return, but in subsequent years. I mean, there could be certain things that manifest somewhere down the road, and access to wellness and mental health for our returning warfighters.
PTSD is real, man.
It's very real.
And not only people who serve in the military, there are some people who are shell-shocked, living in bad neighborhoods. Kids hear gunshots, see people get killed. That's stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Well, all right, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Is there any announcements that you have, Dre, before we make our way out?
PCW Fit is on and cracking. We're getting ready to start off our online training. So check out the website, PCW Fit.
No doubt. And as we close out these last 5 minutes, I wanted to ask you, have you heard about, and there's some things we didn't get to, we'll get to next week. We'll hold these notes for next week as well. But lawyers for the Boston Marathon bomber want more blacks in his jury, perhaps because they fear white jurors won't see him as white. And there's the notion that if they see him as more white, then they are less likely to find him guilty. So what the lawyers what his lawyers, defense lawyers, want to do is placate.
Playing a race card.
Yeah, and it's
reverse race card.
So I don't know. It's crazy, but it's some of these things that have been happening. Another thing too. We want to make sure that we keep our ears open as to what is happening outside the United States. We lost a lot of good people that are dying every day, so we have to support. I would encourage those to support our efforts in the war against terror as a term. We want to make sure that we continue to support our military that is serving abroad, because they are there doing a job that protects us and allows us the freedoms that we enjoy here today. Let's not make light of the fact that stuff is happening all around us. Not
right
just
here in the
United
streets.
States. Certainly enough, here in the streets and abroad. Well, I'm your man, Lex Steele. You can follow me at Lex Steele on Twitter, at Lexington.Steele on Instagram, and we are, of course, on www.latalkradio.com on the video channel. Andre and myself, Johnny Depp, will be here next Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Right, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yes, sir.
Now, on the East Coast, that would be...
earlier. It'd be earlier.
10 o'clock
later
to 11 o'clock
there
on the East Coast and in Chicago. What time is it in Chicago?
It's just an hour earlier.
All right.
Yeah. Later.
Speaking of Chicago, sorry to see you go again, Derrick Rose.
Oh,
Man. Like Grant Hill, like Tracy McGrady, like the Fat Boys. No. This is a Man Cave. Peace.
Straight talk from our perspective. This is Man Cave Live with your host Lexington Steele and co-host Andre Lavelle and Johnny Depp on LA Talk Radio. Let's get it in.